What's going on YouTube? Roachsaurus here, back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at CD Projekt Red is cooked. What does this mean? Let's find out.
Let's go! There is a massive transformation occurring in the video game industry right before our eyes, and many people don't even see it happening. CD Projekt Red is a prime example for it, and although the studio seems to be crumbling from the inside out, it does give us hope that change is coming, and for the better. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT.
Well, I mean, I know there was like some controversy around the girl playing as the main character in the new Witcher game coming out, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like, what is this about?
And CD Projekt Red is falling apart at the seams, with
How
many
so?
top-level developers leaving mass exodus to form their own companies because they're so sick and tired of just how woke CD Projekt Red has become that they can't take it anymore.
I mean, I don't necessarily think that just because a female's playing a main character in the game doesn't make it woke. But again, I haven't really read much on this either.
Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article discussing how CD Projekt Red is falling apart at the seams right now. But it's not all bad news, because the people leaving the company are forming their own, and these are very talented people that don't want to deal with wokeness. As if
And we've seen this before with people leaving Bethesda to join Obsidian Games and develop, the Outer Worlds right here in 2019. I was really excited about that game, actually. I wish it was a little better than it was.
the trailer for The Witcher 4 didn't expose the reality to everyone already,
I thought the trailer was pretty dope.
the once incredibly celebrated studio of CD Projekt Red now finds themselves in the all-too-familiar position these days with many other major AAA studios. Huge waves of many of the most important developers have decided to leave CD Projekt Red and instead form their own alliances and new studios, all because they're sick and tired of woke ideologies being forced upon them at their original workplace. Hey, maybe there's some hope for gaming after all.
I don't know, it looked like they were doing a lot more celebrating than working, but
No, sometimes it feels like it's all doom and gloom on this channel with everything going to hell, but here's a situation where we see developers themselves taking a step back saying, yeah, no, this is actually stealing away our creative freedoms, and we're not going to stand for it. The currently ongoing mass exodus...
I don't blame them. Because one of the main issues when game companies get this massive on a scale is they become corporations, right? They become massive corporations, and everything has to flow through a chain of command. And a lot of great ideas and creativity get lost along that chain of command and get denied to be put in these games. And that's kind of where a lot of these big AAA game companies fail, and where a lot of these smaller indie companies are succeeding in right now.
This isn't just a basic shift of unimportant, meaningless people leaving a company. It's way bigger than that. And it's a clear reflection to everyone witnessing of the much deeper cultural and operational issues going on within CD Projekt Red. The overwhelming stench of woke mindsets and toxic positivity has filled the hallways of the once prestigious organization. That in itself has stifled the exciting creative freedoms that the team morale used to enjoy previously. Some could even argue that CD Projekt Red at one point was leading the industry with the creative freedoms that they gave their developers. But that time is long gone. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. First off, the big studio spin-off from CD Projekt Red is a new alliance from major former players of CD Projekt Red. It's called Rebel Wolves, and this is the most significant blow to CD Projekt Red's roster. Rebel Wolves is spearheaded by Konrad Tomaski.
Now, see, I hope this company succeeds. I hope every company succeeds, but that's just not the reality. The one thing that I fear for companies that do start off like this, I fear that eventually with the success, they will turn into major corporations themselves eventually over time. And then you're just going to have the same issue over and over and over again. It's like a repeating cycle, a vicious cycle that never ends. And then you'll have people drop off from this gaming company and starting their own. And I don't know. I mean, maybe there's a way we can put an end to this. And by put an end to this, I mean put an end to the big corporation killing the creativity of the developer or the game designer. Like, I don't know. There's got to be a better way than just this vicious cycle of becoming corporation, losing creativity, losing employees that create their own studios. And it's just like one big thing after another.
And my goodness, the last names on some of these people, I'm not even going to try to get through them because they are brutal. But that doesn't mean that they're not creative. This guy's the former director of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and this new studio was formed directly as a result of CD Projekt Red's recent incompetence in leadership. Tom Eskowitz, who left CD Projekt Red over allegations of bullying, which he denied and was later cleared of, because let's be honest, this is one of those tactics that the woke left always seems to go and cry, bullying, I'm being bullied, every time they don't get their way. And for a very long time, it used to work. But not anymore. People are wising up to it. People throw lawsuits at people saying they're getting bullied. It doesn't
Yeah, I never hopped on this bandwagon. I thought they were all pathetic from the beginning.
work. Among the other people that have been reunited with Rebel Wolves includes Bartolomej Goel, the art director of The Witcher 3. They've come together to create what they are promising.
I got so much grief back in the day for not being on the same page as the woke minded, and I took so much shit for I got so much shit for it, and you know what, I don't fucking care. I didn't then and I don't now, and now finally things are starting to revert back to the normal.
To be a AAA dark fantasy RPG saga using Unreal Engine 5. And while reviewing their entire website, one point stood out to me among everything else. That's where they stated, we decided to create our own studio and run it on our own terms. Chief among them, the team comes first. Always. Happy people make great games.
Actually, the customer comes first.
Games players want and deserve. Yes, it's as simple as that. Read between the lines, by the way, because if you guys have been paying attention to any of the videos I've been making recently, it's ironic how many of these studios are giving you slop and saying, eat this, we don't care if you want it or not. Here's a development studio that's saying, we want to make games that gamers want to play.
Well, actually, you know, the game companies are just hurting themselves when they do that, because saying, eat this, we don't care if you like it or not, because you, as the customer, have a choice to review the game, maybe temporarily play it on Steam for an hour or two, and then refund it if you don't like it. Or you just have a choice to review the game, research it, and not purchase it at all. They act like we have to buy these games, and we don't.
I know, it's a really novel concept, but stay with me here because I feel like they might be onto something. Rebel Wolves secured a strategic investment from NetEase, which isn't without its own controversies attached to it already, being based out of communist China. You gotta take a step back with all this and see what's happening right before our eyes. Wokeness is destroying companies across the world at breakneck speed. And who seems to always be the one to show up and swoop in to invest at the very bottom? China. And they aren't even hiding it anymore. It's almost like these people are masters of communism and they know how to win. Thomas Eskowitz was quoted as stating, funding provided by NetEase.
I mean, it's no secret China and Japan, and they're far more ahead of us we are really in anything, so it's not a surprise that they'd have their hands in the pockets of this avenue.
Was the last missing piece needed to go full throttle. With resources available to build a world-class AAA game, we can now focus on what matters most, development. So they have the financial backing and the talent now to make a high-quality AAA game in Unreal Engine, and honestly, just hearing those pieces coming together, it's pretty exciting.
I don't think that it really matters, because he's talking about the quality of a AAA game. Now, when I think of the quality of a AAA game these days, I'm thinking Ubisoft and all the fucking failed, buggy ass, fucking half-ass made games that they've dropped. And when you say can make the quality of a AAA game, I really don't want to buy that. I think indie games and AA games are probably a hell of a lot or most of them that I've played are a hell of a lot better than AAA games are nowadays. But I think he's just saying that they have the budget to be able to do that now.
And we have, parallel to Rebel Wolves, another studio being formed out of former members of CD Projekt Red called Blank Studios. Formed by MYTHIC, who was both the game director for Cyberpunk 2077 and the co-game director for The Witcher 3, alongside
the original director of Cyberpunk.
Executive producers Jedriz Mraz and Marcin Jeffermo. Blank aims to redesign game development. They've created a studio with a philosophy rooted in collaboration over individual dictatorship, work-life balance over crunch culture, and quality over quantity. Basically, anything but woke. When looking through this website, it just feels like these are hardcore gamers looking to make hardcore games for hardcore gamers.
And that's exactly how it should be. And it surprises me because we have all these people that like judge the Game Awards and stuff that don't even fucking play games, so it doesn't make sense. Like, why do we have Rolling Stone as one of the judges? Like, it baffles me, honestly. Like,
I know, it's crazy. Again, looking at these very talented developers that were all but driven out completely of CD Projekt Red because they didn't align ideologically with a company that was completely infected with the woke mind virus. Kinnick was quoted stating, "We're ready to make bold, impactful projects that share our unique creativity and values." Kinnick left CDPR after a 15-year tenure. The reason? Is tired of being politically correct. He highlighted the studio's mission to create games that aren't just bigger, but better in terms of...
I don't think it's the fact that they're tired of being politically correct. I think it's the fact that people don't give a fuck. People just want to play a game and not be constantly reminded that, hey, you gotta, like, here's pronouns, you gotta pick one. What game recently did that? I think it was Dragon Age not Inquisition, and the new Dragon Age recently did this. And I seen a whole Twitter argument over it. I was actually watching an Asmongold video on this. And I think it's just that people don't want to constantly be told what to do, and they just want to turn their brains off and have fun playing a fucking video game.
Emotional impact, storytelling, and craftsmanship. And I gotta tell you guys, looking at what's transpiring right now with this mass exodus at CD Projekt Red, that there is going to be an onslaught. You just watch, and you can quote me on this. When these games come out, there'll be some sort of controversy that these games journalists out there, the professional journals in the industry, will take issue with and try to tear down because they fly directly in the face of the woke mind virus. And that doesn't fly with these people that have been so accustomed to living in a world for so long where they are the cancel culture mafia, and they will end you if you decide to break away from their cult. From Blank's website, they state, "Currently, we are working on a character-driven story from an apocalypse with a twist or two. We've had our share of creating huge, super complicated games with open worlds. That's why we focus on simpler goals. Uniqueness, emotions, quality, and refinement. We put our passion and dedication into our craft, and we're eagerly looking forward to letting you play some of the compelling narratives we're working on. Rest assured, we will share more details when the time is right." And as far as investments from...
Now, I absolutely hope they're successful with creating games, and that they do become, really popular in playable games that everyone loves. But, we're just going to have to wait and see, because not everything promises exactly what you'll receive.
From external sources, yep, this company, Blank, also got that from Neowitz, a South Korean game company best known for Lies of P. In November of 2023, it was announced that Blank secured $17 million in investment from Neowitz. And you begin to see a clear picture, a constant theme, a trend, if you will. People that are sick and tired of working at CD Projekt Red because of the woke ideologies that's taken over the company, and they're leaving and creating their own studios in the wake. And it's not just one or two people creating a single studio, it's tons of very high-level, important developers saying they are done with it, moving on and forming their own studios. So in a weird way, this kind of gives me a glimmer of hope for the future of gaming, saying that every time the pendulum swings way too far one direction, there's always going to be the balance, the counter, the shift of employee dynamics where they go create their own studios to make the creative choices, decisions, and magical game experience that so many gamers just want to play in the first place. It will happen.
Well, I mean, we'll see about that. Well, I mean, they do have to be successful and know exactly what they're doing, and obviously a lot of these people do because they come from bigger companies, but it doesn't necessarily mean the new company will be ran correctly or, you know, have the budget to do so. And in this case, from what we're hearing, is that they do have the budget to create a good AAA game. So hopefully we will get that.
It just isn't a straight road to get there. For CD Projekt Red, the constant and ongoing loss of pivotal figures is foreshadowing for the decline in creative output and a significant pivot in their entire development culture. The departure of these folks to start fresh on their own studios like Rebel Wolves and Blank isn't just a move out of sheer frustration, but also a bright signal to the entire video game industry for the future. As these new studios begin to lay down their markers in the gaming landscape, I'll be watching very closely to see what comes from it. Will Rebel Wolves and Blank redefine what it means to make RPGs in the modern era? Well, we can dream, and I'm going to, because this, above all else, gives me hope for the future in gaming. That there are based developers that just want to make great games.
I mean, obviously there's game developers working at these major game companies that want to develop great games. But the problem is the corporation and the chain of command in which they have to go through, and those ideas get pushed aside or overlooked or whatever.
For gamers that want to play great games. And I know, it sounds so basic, so stupid when you say it like that, but when you're covering the industry for as long as I have and you see what's been transpiring, it's like, holy crap, this is just a large relief to hear it, and I'm looking forward to see what comes from it. As far as CD Projekt Red, it just seems to me like they're going to continue spiraling the drain into obsolescence because, honestly, nobody cares, especially when they're pushing the girl boss narrative with The Witcher 4 and the direction they're going with the hardcore...
And again, I don't necessarily think that has anything to do with the woke-minded culture, having a girl as the main character in a video game. I don't really think that was their intention, was to make this game woke. So, but again, I mean, I haven't played this game yet. It's not even out yet, so we'll just have to wait and see how that turns out.
Wokeness of the company, even though they argue that they're not, everything we find out about them is everything but them telling the truth. Because of course, why would they be honest to anyone? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Well, I don't think CD Projekt Red's going anywhere anytime soon. Honestly, I don't think it's the downfall of a company having some employees leave to start their own studio. Obviously, we've seen this several times with many companies, even including would be Nexon with Iron Mace and so on and so forth, Bethesda with Obsidian. I'm not exactly saying that everyone leaving those studios are creating studios either. Some people are just leaving those studios and joining smaller studios so they can focus on what they love doing. But at the same time, CD Projekt Red does have to kind of look at this as, hey, this may be a problem keeping employees, you know. Hey guys, if you like the video, make sure you head over to the page, hit that like button, scroll over, smash that subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get notified for future video drops, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.